Today, we're diving into a really controversial new policy over at Meta. It's one of those stories that sits right at the intersection of the race to build incredible AI and, well, employee privacy. And it brings up some huge questions about where work is headed for all of us.
So just imagine for a second everything you do on your work computer. Every single click of your mouse, every letter you type on the keyboard, it's all being recorded. And not just for some IT check or for security, but for something else entirely.
Because right now, inside Meta, all of that activity, it's now being logged specifically to train their artificial intelligence models. And that leads to the big question we're going to unpack here today. What does this really mean for the people whose daily work is literally becoming the fuel for AI?
Okay, so let's get right into the nitty-gritty. What exactly is this new policy? How does it actually work?
So the official name for this thing is the Model Capability Initiative, or MCI. You can think of it as a tool that's just running in the background on employee computers, quietly logging all that activity. And the stated purpose is to take this enormous pile of real-world data and feed it directly into Meta's AI to, make it smarter. Now, here's a key distinction. It's not like Meta couldn't access this kind of data before. They could. The real game changer here isn't the access, it's the purpose. This is the first time this data is being systematically collected and stored with this single explicit goal of training and improving in AI. So, as you can probably guess, there are two very, very different ways of looking at this whole thing. You've got the company's official reasoning on one side, and on the other, the very real fears of the people working there. Let's break down both sides of this story. And this slide really gets to the heart of the conflict. Meta is basically framing this as a necessary step for innovation. They're saying, look, if you want to build better AI, you need real human examples. But from an employee's point of view, it just feels, well, dystopian, especially when the company is so obsessed with AI and everyone's worried about more layoffs. And here's the official line, straight from a Meta spokesperson. The logic is pretty simple, right? To create an AI that can help people with computer tasks, that AI needs to learn from how people actually do those tasks. It's all positioned as just a practical step for progress. But then you hear from the other side. You have employees saying that the very idea of their smallest actions being watched to train an AI feels, and this is a direct quote, very dystopian. It's not just about the data collection itself, it's about that feeling of being monitored to help build a technology that a lot of them worry could one day affect their own jobs. To really understand why this is happening, we kind of need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This policy isn't happening in a vacuum. It's actually a key piece of a much larger company-wide strategy for Meta. And the scale of this strategy is just staggering. Meta is on track to spend around $140 billion on artificial intelligence in 2026. That's not just a big investment, it's a colossal bet. And it signals that AI isn't just another project, it's the entire future of the company. And get this, while all that money is being poured into AI, look at what's happening with hiring actual people. Back in March, Meta had about 800 open job listings. Today, just 7. It's basically a total hiring freeze for humans while the investment in machines is going through the roof. And it's not just about not hiring new people. It's also about downsizing the current workforce. The company has already let go of about 2,000 employees this year alone. And from what we're hearing, people inside are bracing for even more cuts. So that context is absolutely crucial for understanding the anxiety around this new tracking policy. And hey, this isn't just speculation. The CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, made this connection himself pretty explicitly earlier this year. He said that the goal is for AI to let smaller, more efficient teams, or maybe even just one single person, do the kind of work that used to require a whole bunch of people. So what does this all add up to? You take the internal tracking, you add the massive AI spending, and you throw in the layoffs. What is that signal for the future of work? Not just at Meta, but everywhere. So let's just quickly recap the key points here. First, Meta is actively logging what its employees do on their computers to train AI, plain and simple. Second, you have this huge clash in perception. The company calls it innovation, while some of the workers call it dystopian surveillance. Third, this is all happening right as the company is making a $140 billion push into AI and drastically cutting jobs. And finally, what this all really does is shine a huge spotlight on this growing tension between a company's ambition for AI and the job security of its own people. And that really leaves us with this one final, really provocative question. It's the central dilemma of this new world we're entering. When the very work you do every day is being used to train the technology that could, one day, make your job obsolete, who actually wins in the end? That's a question I think we're all going to be grappling with for a long, long time.